had a class with a girl named Desiree. Nobody talked to her except for me. She'd bring big bags of warheads to class, and we'd see how many we could put on our mouths before the sour got to be too much. At lunch, I sat with the kids who lived in big houses, wore the newest clothes and had moms that would make them sandwiches. Those kids sucked. I didn't want to be one of them, but there I was, one of the 5th grade pumped up kicks cool kids rocking the newest custom LL Bean backpack with my Air Jordans and Gap jeans. My mom was a stay-at-home mom who had the uncanny ability to burn everything, including fucking Jell-O. My father was the national sales director of a pharmaceutical company. In other words, he sold lies for a living. In other words, I never knew the meaning of without or hungry, but some of my best friends, like Desiree, did. Some of my best friends were kids I wasn't allowed to have over because they had names like Tatisha, Dakara, Jinsey, and Peaches. And I lived in a neighborhood full of Mary Kates, Anna Grace, and Elizabeth Anns. I won't say who lived across the street but down the block, but they were known as progressive white folks who somehow felt uncomfortable around even children whose names they didn't know how to properly pronounce. In high school, alcohol, drugs, and underage girls litter the tables like confetti at house parties of rich doctors and lawyers' kids. The cops never came. The one time I went to a party off of Green Street, the cops showed up within 20 minutes wanting to search everyone for no other reason than just because when I spill the heart contents out of the upbringing of my chest, some people ask if I'm really from the South, as if my blood is not riddled with the same Mississippi mud as theirs. I do not hate my skin, but more often than not, I am deeply angered and ashamed by what people who look just like me have done with it. I once heard someone say that if you know better, do better, which is why I refuse to take the back seat when calling out racism, knowing that I got the privilege to sit anywhere on the fucking bus. It is knowing that if an officer ever pulled me over, he's not gonna feel threatened enough to put his hand on his gun. It is knowing that if my car ever ran out of gas in the middle of the night on a highway, most people would stop their vehicle and ask if I was all right. It is knowing that my skin is more bulletproof than bullseye, which is why I view each day as a new opportunity to use this mouth loud, even in uncomfortable spaces, to keep my ears tuned to the key of do good, be better, for my eyes to not be whitewashed or colorblind. Yes, there is still so much learning I have to do, but if there is one thing I do know, it is that privilege is never having to think or talk about it. And my goodness, if I get paid to speak for a living, how could I ever be silent about that?